I'm Ariana Grande.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Erivo.
And you're listening to the Broadway Podcast Network.
Visit bpm.fm to discover more.
Hi, I'm Alex Serino, and you're watching the Theater Podcast with Alan Seals.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Theater Podcast. I'm your host, Alan Seals, and this episode is now our last of 7. Can you believe that? 7 episodes on the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child takeover here on the podcast. This one is with Alex Serino, who is playing Albus Potter in the show. And if you haven't caught the previous 6 episodes, please do yourself a favor, do me a favor, and go back and listen to them, because just the way that all of these actors approach this show is just incredible. Alex, he grew up surrounded by music from the North Shore of Massachusetts, and of course surrounded by music family and Boston pride. He played the trombone in his school band and found his way into high school theater with his cousins, and he's just been like this curious kid that's been embracing every chance that has been thrown his way. And of course we talk about his path from Emerson College to the Broadway stage, and actually he nearly pursued teaching instead of acting, but his community, his chosen family asking for help have led him down the path to where he is now. Plus, if you stick around to the very end during the final 3 questions I always ask at the end of every episode, we get majorly sidetracked diving into our mutual love of gaming and video games. And he actually streams his games online, and he's been trying to get some more courage to help him do some more of that. So if you are listening and you want to watch him stream while he plays, especially on a 2-show day, just hit him up on social media. Let him know you listened and that you want him to stream. He brings such genuine energy to this episode. You're going to fall in love with him. And of course, if you haven't seen Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, go do that too. Don't forget to follow me on all the socials, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, all these places. Check out the video version of this episode on Patreon and Spotify. And now everybody, please enjoy this episode with Alex Serino.
Here you go. 1, 2, 3.
Today's guest is an exciting new voice on Broadway, making magic 8 times a week as Albus Potter in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. A Boston native and recent grad of Emerson College, his journey to the Broadway stage is a story of passion, hard work, and a little bit of magic on its own. You like that? From starring in college productions like the SpongeBob Musical to hosting the EVVY Awards, and now stepping into one of the most iconic universes in modern storytelling, he is proof that dreams and determination really can take you places. I'm so excited to dive into his story. Alex Serino, welcome to the Theater Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here and chat with you.
In a world where Alex Serino graduated from Emerson College.
I was really honored with this epic film intro.
In a world.
It was really well done. Thank you.
I can only really get into it like the professionals do if I'm very dehydrated.
No, well, yeah. Well, when you're at the brink of yourself, that's when best performances come out, don't they?
Oh my God. The first time I got COVID, was it the first time? I guess maybe I only got it once. I can't remember now. I've been sick a few times, but I think it was the flu the second time. I never quite got confirmation. When I knew I had COVID, my voice dropped like 3 octaves.
Yeah.
And I had to do podcast interviews during that time.
So you were just like, hi.
Like in the basement.
Wow.
Think James Earl Jones lower.
Oh my gosh. There's documents of this.
Yes, there is.
It's on this show.
Audio recorded proof, and thankfully it was like during a Beetlejuice takeover, so I got to like
really play around.
I got to play around with the Beetlejuice. It was like
Beetlejuice.
It was a lot of fun. Anyway, so tell us about Boston. Tell us about where you're from.
Oh, of course. I'm so proud of where I'm from.
Most Bostonians are.
I guess so. It's the Boston pride of it all. I'm from outside of Boston. I'm from the North Shore, as I like to say. I'm from a city called Peabody, which is it's spelled Peabody.
Oh, I thought it was like when like little kids become adults, they go through puberty.
Yeah, no, that too.
Okay.
But it was like where I grew up. It was Salem, Massachusetts, or witch trials and all that. But Peabody was a part of Salem Village.
I'm sorry, I keep hearing puberty.
I keep it like that's it.
Anyway.
Puberty. Peabody.
Yeah, we live in Puberty, Massachusetts. It's a smelly town.
Yeah, no, it's just
some parts have hair, some parts don't.
But yeah, no, and that's where I grew up. I started doing theater there. I grew up there. I lived there my entire life. Went through all school together. All my family is from there. My dad is from Lynn, Massachusetts. My mom is from Peabody. She was, was raised there, and we went to the same high school, which they need to build a new high school, but and the same middle school actually, but that is now demolished and they have a new one. But my mom and all of her siblings still live in my hometown, so I grew up with all of my cousins basically being my siblings and all my aunts and uncles being my second parents. And the house my mom grew up in we lived on the same street, so like it was a dead end. Like there was never any cars. We played in the street. We'd walk down to see my grandmother, get a cup of tea, blah 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 on a rainy day. And but like all of my my grandmother was all of my family was very musical. Like we'd go over every time we would all be together. We'd sing like, some Irish folk songs, and like, my grandmother would always play show tunes. And then my brother, my older brother, he's 25. He's in school for music education right now, but he started, doing instrumental music. He started playing the trumpet, and then was really great. And then it was like immediately I was like, well, I want to do it too. So I started playing the trombone, and we were both playing these brass instruments, and went through middle school being in all the bands, being in jazz band. That was like my favorite thing, and his as well. But and then in high school, I hadn't done theater until I wasn't in a show until my freshman year of high school.
Playing brass the whole time.
I was playing brass the whole time. And even while, really my introduction to like performing arts was through my grandmother influencing me and my brother to be like, no, you should do band. And so we did band, and it was so like, I still love it. Like I still have my trombone under my bed at home, and I'll still play it once in a while.
There's a dirty joke in there somewhere.
Yeah, no, there definitely is. But
my trombone's
been under my bed. Yeah, oh Jesus. But him and I, we my freshman year, he was like, I'm going to audition for the play, and I was like, okay, I will too. And actually, this isn't true. My first ever theater performance that I did was probably the nativity scene in preschool or something like that.
Right.
Right. But and then I did I worked out as like a props like crew member in my middle school production of Into the Woods Junior, but I was like, no, I'm a band kid. I don't know what I'm doing here. And then the next year I auditioned for shows, and my first ever show that I was in was Little Shop of Horrors. I was the plant puppeteer. For Audrey II. No. I was a freshman. I was 5 feet tall, and my voice was like this. And
right, you make a great Seymour.
Yes, but it would occasional. Then it would be like this, and then it would go right. And
because
singing,
Peabody, right? Peabody,
yeah, because Peabody, yeah. But singing "Grow for Me," the octave up, I don't think was what the choice was at the time. But and then ever since then, I started auditioning for everything at my school, and I was like, oh, dang, I really like this. And it was awesome at the time because, my entire way through high school and doing theater, I always had a family, like a sibling with me, I had two of my cousins, Amanda and Abby, are my age. We graduated high school together. And then the two youngest are twins, and they're 2 years younger than me. So like as soon as my brother left, 2 more came in to high school, and they all were doing theater as well. So it was like, as much as like it was a space for community and like making friends, it was also a space for like family and remembering, and like
the teachers are like, oh, these friggin' Serinos, they don't ever leave us alone.
Yeah, no, they would call us my mom's family, they're the Fitzgeralds, and that's my middle name actually. My mom and her siblings, so they would come in and they would call us the Stantorinos because because the Fitzgeralds, the Stantons, and the Serinos, and we were all lumped into one. They're like, oh, here they fucking come. Sorry, can I curse?
Yeah.
Sorry, okay.
You gotta say fackin'.
Yeah, facking. No, and then I went through high school. I started doing. I started really liking to do the one-act plays at my school. That was like the big thing in Massachusetts, was the one-act play festival, which was the METG, Massachusetts Educational Theater Guild Drama Festival. You'd do a 40-minute play, and you'd go to school, and then you'd get, like, if you made it to finals, which we did a few times, you would go perform at John Hancock Hall in Back Bay, Boston, and like on this big stage. And it was like an awesome feeling when you did that, because it was like, well, there is so many seats in that theater, and like it's just like the biggest theater experience you could get at that age in the local scene. But I did that and I started loving it. And I was like, oh, this is so much fun. Like, but my dad, I'm telling you, I'm jumping. My dad's a teacher. He's a math teacher. I grew up living with a teacher and also like, being in a school, and like I was like, oh, this is great. Like, and I was also like, this is a really noble job. Like, and I always wanted to do it. So when I was into music, it was like, no, I want to be a music teacher. And then it was like, no, maybe I want to be a history teacher. Maybe I want to be an English teacher. Then I was like, by my senior year of high school, I was like, oh, I want to be a theater teacher.
That was teach theater.
Teach theater.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do. And, me and my Stephanie Manning, she was a director at my school. And then my senior year became my full-time teacher. And like, she really helped me like get this passion for it under wraps, and be like really like being able to make what I make. And like the aesthetic of like art that I see now is really influenced by her. But she, helped me. She started making, she was like, you should do this summer program that she directs at. And that is where you mentioned SpongeBob. That's where I eventually did that, where it's Weston Drama Workshop. It was this Massachusetts local like youth theater summer program, and they would put on these like, they still do put on such high level productions, and like it was just such an awesome time, like getting to get out of my high school, out of my comfort zone where I was like like a bigger fish in a smaller pond, to go into this bigger pond and be like a normal sized fish with all these other people who love this as much as I do, where I've now like some of my best friends that I've met there, and it just made my love for it grow more, and like made me connected with my home more. And then I went to Emerson College, which is still right in Boston. But
so you haven't left like a 5-mile radius.
No.
No.
Like it's always been there. And I mean, the reason why I went to Emerson is, so my major when I went into college, the first 2 years, like I said, I wanted to be a theater teacher. So I went through the college process. Most actors that my age that are auditioning for colleges for performance, or auditioning for 17 schools, and I applied to 4 colleges. And I did like, general like safety, realistic, dream, and reach, like, and I was like, great. And
okay, that's 4.
Yeah, it's 4. And because I wasn't going for performance, I auditioned performance for one school, and that was just a base performance major. And then the reason I wanted to go to Emerson was because they have this 2-in-1 major, which is theater education and performance. It's this like they wrap it into one major. So your first 2 years, you get a mixture of, okay, here's what it feels like to be a performance major, like to be an acting major,
right?
But with some education classes tied in, like you get psych, you get a foundations of education class, and like it's like, cool, this is great. And then the next 2 years, you really focus in on the teaching part. But for me, Emerson, I was going through it, and I was like, I love teaching. But then like I had this like conversation with my dad, and I was like, well, I'm paying all this money, and like, why not get the training to do something that like I want to do? Like, because I'm like, both of us had this conversation. We were like, he goes, if you think you're good enough to do it, then act, then do it. I was like, okay, I will. So
that's it.
So at end of your sophomore year, you go into Emerson and you're either a theater and performance major or an MT. If you're a performance major, you're a theater performance major, theater education and performance major, you're an MT.
Okay.
Freshman year. MTs are in a conservatory all 4 years of college. The other two majors it's kind of a liberal arts, like you pick and choose what you want. But sophomore year, you can audition, you get into the acting studio, which is the conservatory-esque style. And, only 12 to 16 people get in. I auditioned because I was like, well, this is what I want to do. So then I did it, lived in Boston for...
So you got in?
Yeah, I got in. I did it. And that's why I didn't graduate with a theater ed degree and I graduated with an acting BFA. And it was probably one of the best decisions I've made. And, all through college, I was working and like auditioning and trying to get absorb as much information as possible. But it really changed everything. And, I did it all in Boston. So that's hometown for me. I did get, cause since I went there, I lived downtown. I and I was like, I'm not from Boston, but you never say where, like, for when you're from Massachusetts, you're not going to say I'm from Taunton. Like nobody knows where Taunton is, but but you'll say, no, I'm from Boston just because
it's nearby.
Yeah, it's nearby. That's why I say Salem sometimes, because most people know Salem. If you read The Crucible.
Sure.
So, that's my hometown college story where I started.
Crazy.
As an actor.
So, the EVVY awards.
Oh yeah, the EVVYs.
EVVYs?
Yeah.
That's how you say it.
It's
All
like
right.
the- it's like the
Yeah.
Emmys.
People have been like screaming at their radios so far. Radios? Who listens to this on a radio? Yeah. So people are the EVVYs.
Yeah.
Though, let's see, it's a big production, full red carpet, performances, sketches. It's like
It is the largest student-run national award show in the nation.
yes.
And
And you hosted it.
I did with my friend Connor. It was so much fun. It was just a base audition process. Like they were going for their aesthetic that year was like 80s like throwback vibe, like time travel vibe. So they were looking for like a Marty McFly-esque character, and they were like, oh, and I auditioned, and then I got it, and it was a lot of fun, and like it's so different.
You have to audition to be the host?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They had auditions, and the auditions was basically going in and like seeing if you had good chemistry with the other hosts that they were trying to bring in. But yeah, we got the fun thing about it is, because Emerson's a huge film school and huge communication school. And so it's like everybody working together on this one huge project. And we do a ton of video packages like throughout the entire thing. So like we got to recreate like the Breakfast Club, like scenes from the Breakfast Club. And, it was 2023 and the Daniels had just won for Everything Everywhere All at Once. And they're alums of the school. So they were getting the like award of distinction that year. So we got to recreate scenes from that film, and which was super cool. And it's a bunch of these film nerds who have analyzed these films before and are like, we're creating it shot for shot, and it looks so good, and it looks exactly like what you would see in the original product of the films they were recreating.
Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick commercial break. All right, everyone. Now we're back.
Hosting an award show is so much different than acting. Because, it was my first time using like a teleprompter and and it's like stand-up. I've never done stand-up, but I'm terrified of it because it's like when you're an actor with a script, you have something to like rely on, and you're not you have something basically to hide behind. But when you're hosting or doing stand-up, it's like, nope, you're you, and you're showing everybody just you. And it's like, that can be a little, vulnerable for a lot of people. And so it was like at first I was like, ooh, this is nerve wracking, but people will come up to me, like my friend, like Ruby, she worked on it, and she had like, her and I like didn't really like start like becoming friends until after the EVVY Awards. We were like, oh wait, we like worked on that together. But like we never saw each other because there was so many departments working on their own
That's
things.
crazy.
Yeah, and I was like, it was a full, and I'm like, and it's a small college, so it's like, of course we would know, you should know everybody that works on the project you're working on. But I was like, there are so many hands on this project, and like everybody's working on it, and like, you know, and because it is one of those big things that the college is known for. So
That's crazy cool. Was this before or after you knew you were in Harry Potter?
Oh, this was before.
Way before?
This was before.
Yeah.
This was my junior year of college.
Oh, so it's a while ago.
Yeah. I didn't. Yeah, 2023 was the year, and it was fun. I didn't know about Harry Potter until July. This past July,
July 24, right? Because we're not in July 25.
Yeah,
yet.
July
Okay,
24.
okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. But that was a whole journey. For Harry Potter. So it was, senior year of college happened, and I've been auditioning for things ever since. Like I was online, like just self-submitting things. Didn't have an agent. Like just trying to do the thing while doing the thing. And I auditioned for Harry Potter in 2022. So long ago. I was doing at that summer theater. I was doing a production of Indecent, which was so gorgeous. Anyways,
It was decent.
Yeah, it was a decent production
decent.
of Indecent.
Yeah, okay.
But I got a call. I got a self tape, and I'd submitted. Nothing really came from that. And whatever. I was just like, oh, I got a Broadway audition. And I was freaking out a bit. But and then a year and a half, 2 years go by. I'm a senior around Thanksgiving time, and I get another audition for it, and I self-tape, and they asked me to come to New York, and it's for the tour of it, and I'm going through it all, and it's surreal experience. I'm like I can't believe I'm here right now, and I'm always the person that's under the mindset. I'm not like when you go into an audition room, I'm like just so like hi, what's your name, because I'm just like we're all artists, and we're like here creating things and having fun, and I hope that's what everybody else feels too, and I go in that way, and I really was just being like trying to be as much as myself as I could, just because that's how you stay comfortable, is when you are yourself.
It's so hard though.
It is so hard. It is so hard. I did actually. I met during those callbacks for the tour. I met Juan Carlos, who is now Bob Newby in Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm.
And him and I, we have like very similar like stories for how we're here now, because when you get like Broadway's nuts. I'm like I was just in my Alexander class, like doing my posture and making sure my spine was aligned like a year ago, and now I get to do a show 8 times a week, which is so just surreal. But I auditioned for the tour. I got through callbacks. They were just kind of like, they were like, thank you. Like, we'll keep you in mind for the future. And then I got an email in the summer, and they were like, hey, can you come in for callbacks for Broadway? And I was like, yep. I said, let me check my calendar. No, I didn't. I got in my car, and I drove here, and I stayed with a friend.
As fast as you could.
Yeah. And that was and then, I had a week of auditions. I got to do a final with John Tiffany. I got the part, and it was like, oh, shit, I need to move to New York, because I was living in Boston. I was like, I wasn't planning on moving post-grad. Like, I was like, I'm going to work at this. I worked as a substitute teacher. I still teach, always try to. And
you give trombone lessons in the cast.
That's a good idea, actually. I have given trombone lessons. I should. Hey, Matthew James Thomas, would you like to learn how to play the trombone? He probably already does. He's like, he's a music genius, that dude. But and then I moved here. I live in Brooklyn, and I've loved it ever since. And I get to, do the thing.
Do the thing. You're making your debut. Making your
debut, as we say.
Your debut. You're making your debut in one of the most powerful shows in theater right now.
Yeah, it's nuts.
When you got the offer after a week of auditions, by the way.
Yeah, it was. I was staying with my friend who lives on the Upper West Side, my friend Charlie, and I was sleeping on his couch, and like I would go to the audition. I would do the movement call, and I would do the read the sides, and then I'd go back to his place, and I'd just be like, well, now we wait for an email to see if I come back. And I would get an email, and we'd all freak out, me and his roommates. And they'd be like, woohoo, you're staying another night, because I thought I was like oh, I'll just stay for a few nights, but it ended up being the whole week, because like we kept going back and kept having the same. We'll see. I did the best I could, and then it was like email, woo, and kept going. But then I did the final on a Thursday. We celebrated, like we got drinks, and then the next morning, because I was parked out front of his place, my car, and I got in my car to drive back to Boston. I was like, well, that was fun. And I'm driving. I just pull on the highway. My phone is on one of those like magnets on my windshield dash, and then it starts ringing, and it's the casting director, and I'm like, I'm just like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, and I'm like, oh hi Alexander, and he's like, hey Alex, and I'm like, what's up, and he was just like, I'm just calling to let you know that you got the part. You're gonna have to move to New York. And we were like, and I was like, what? And I was freaking out. I was driving. I was like, hold on, I need to pull over. Like, but it was nuts. I was like, oh my God, I need to tell my mom, blah, 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 all these things. And I was freaking out. That drive home that usually takes 4 hours, I think took me like 6.5, 7 hours. Cause I was just like, kept pulling over and be like, hi dad. Like, hi, my brother. Hi. And, and all these things, and it was like immediately that day it was like off to the races on like getting here, working with my friends on like housing and like representation, all of these things, and like helping with my contract, all of these things, because I'm like, I don't know anything. I was so green, and like
how does that work? If you get offered the role, they obviously the casting director called you, so they offered
so it doesn't
you the role.
Go through your agent.
Yeah. So then do you have to have an agent then?
You don't.
After the fact?
No, you don't need one. I mean, they are always like, you should get one, because your agent can. That's who like, negotiates your contract for you.
Right.
If I didn't do that, like who knows what my contract would be. And like, they could, cause I don't know anything. So it's like, I know nothing about nothing.
Right.
And it's like, it's a piece of paper in front of me, and I could be like, well, I don't know what the standard is. Sure. Great. Everything looks good. But your agent's there to like vouch for you and like get things for you. And that's, my current agent now. That's who did it for me. I'm lucky to have had like friends that like were like have been in this boat before, that were like, hey, let me help you. Yeah, like they were on FaceTime with me, like, let me guide you through this. I'm going to send you emails. So cool. And it was really great. My friend Madison Thompson, she was on Ozark. She was in Grease, Rise of the Pink Lady. She's awesome. And she really helped me get through this. And now my agent Ross at CESD, like helped me have a really smooth transition from being fresh grad out of college to being in a Broadway show. So I was so lucky and fortunate to know the people I knew and have the support that I needed at the time.
Your whole life, it seems like it's been a story of it takes a village, right? Like you grew up, you were saying that your aunts and your uncles were basically second parents. Your cousins were your siblings. You were in this giant family that now you brought yourself to New York and found your success because you still put yourself in with your chosen family.
Yeah. And I feel like that's what just you need your community of people, or like in people in general, like that. Who else do you have other than other people? I mean, you have yourself, obviously, but like I've never been a person who's afraid to ask for help, because if somebody's done it before me, like, why do we have books, Like, it's like, why are there instruction manuals? It's because somebody had to go through it before you. And
that's the pull quote from this episode, though. Alex Serino, why do we have books?
Yeah, why? Yeah, no, don't read.
Why do we have books?
But really, like, we have books to like learn, and I feel like that's what it is. And it's more like, I've always been somebody who's like, able to absorb and wants to absorb information and know how things work, and I'm never afraid to like seek out the people that will help me learn those things.
Yeah, that's great. Never be afraid to ask for help, ask questions, because the worst someone can say is I don't know or no.
Exactly.
Right. And
my dad always said
off.
that to me. He goes, I would, it'd be something stupid. Like I'd be like, oh dang, I'm at the grocery store. And I'm like, I really want that piece of like that candy bar on the shelf. And I'd be like, hey dad, actually never mind. And you'd probably say no. He goes, you should never not ask, because the worst I could say is no.
Sure.
And like he would always say that. He'd be like, the worst people could say is no. Like you're applying for a job, like worst they could say is no. It doesn't make you stop trying to like get what you want. I mean, like if you want, obviously maybe not that thing at that right time, but eventually, you keep working to get that thing and it'll happen.
No, it's interesting because I sort of was going down that path of conversation, because you're somebody who has, like, you're very sociable, you're very outgoing, you have a lot of friends, a lot of family, chosen and otherwise around you. And then Albus Potter is kind of, he's a loner and not by choice.
Yeah. So, but like, think what's I've really been connecting it a lot recently is, I moved to the city, and I don't have many people in the city. Like, I have my wonderful castmates that I've now have grown to become like dear friends. And like I've moved here, and it's like, well, I don't have anybody as like close as my family was to me. But Albus it is difficult, that idea of isolation, because I think that's something I'm scared of as a person, because I am not someone who is alone lots of the time. So playing somebody that is alone, at first, he's never alone.
No,
because he has Scorpius,
right? But he doesn't. Anyway, go ahead.
Yes. But the place starts off with they're on the platform, and everything is like, yippee! We're gonna start. It's gonna be you're gonna go have fun at Hogwarts, and he gets to this place, and it's not everything he dreamed of it being. And I think I don't necessarily think he's learned to hate Hogwarts, and like because of the bullying and the taunting, that he wasn't like his dad or like his family, and that is isolating and puts this kid in a box, and he's not able to break out of that box. And I feel like all the time as people, like, we're like fighting to not be in a box, and he has to do it like soon, like he's going to this new place, this new community where he thinks he's gonna have a great time, and immediately it's well, I already know, I'm being told who I am. I'm not getting to discover who I am for myself. And I feel like that's a battle that Alex has gone through. So that is the difference between me and Albus, and like being able to play that isolation is not really what I look for, like inspiration. It is that like I need to fight to not be put in a box. That you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
It does. And I think it's probably one of the best roles you could have, coming into a city like New York by yourself for the first time.
It totally is. Because, like, I'd love to be like, Albus is so independent, but no, he's not. He does rely on Scorpius, and he does.
Who is also put in a box.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, and it's a story about like relying on those in your community to succeed. Yeah. And it's totally what he does. And like, because Albus and Scorpius are put in these boxes. They are, treated the same, outcasted and like bullied, and, but they come together, and it's like they're all each other have. And like, they are constantly lifting each other up to become better people, like become themselves. Well, I'm lucky to have a roommate who roommates that also are just fresh out of college and moving to the city. So it's like, we are, and he's a performer too. And it's like, we get to have these fresh experiences together. And so it is like that, where it's like, well, hey, what's up? Even though we work opposite schedules, we still like have a shared experience, and that gets us through each day. And like, whether that's, we're sitting down and making dinner and talking about this show that one of us saw, or or he will go into his room and he'll play the piano and we'll just like jam and mess around. And like, because it's like, community, like we're always like uplifting each other's art. Like I'm always telling him, I'm always like, you need to write a song every day. That's how it will, you'll get better. And you know, we're always trying to keep each other uplifted. And I feel like that's what Scorpius and Albus do.
Does he write you a song?
Scorpius?
No. Does your roommate?
My roommate.
Yeah. No, not Scorpius.
Scorpius. Eric has written me a song.
Oh, has he really?
Yes, he's written. I feel like not written, but he sings a song or two to me backstage sometimes, and I do too. But just silliness. But my roommate Ben has never written me a song. But
Ben, you're fired.
Yeah, what the hell, Ben?
Ben, come on, man. I'm talking to you. I'm turning off the recording. Ben, it's just you and me right now. You got to get your shit together.
Oh, God.
Alex is upset. He's crying. He's crying because he doesn't have a song.
Ben, where's my song?
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're back.
Yeah, and you know, playing Albus it's so his story, like that story, like, you know, the father-son story and the, you know, living in someone's shadow story and is great. But I'm always picturing the story as like, when you're placed in a box, how do you get out of it? How do you bend those edges or color? If you are put in a box, how do you color in with different colors? You know what I mean?
I do. And my mind is racing right now because people are always put in a box, prejudged, judged by book by cover. But then unconsciously or consciously, so oftentimes we put ourselves in boxes.
Exactly.
That we think other people want us to be in.
And that's 100% what Albus thinks.
Yeah.
And I think it's realized because, you know, there's a line at the end of the play. But Harry says, you know, Matthew did this beautiful thing in the show one night. And like, we never like tell each other when like, we're like, oh yeah, that was great. Cause we don't want us to like recreate the moments. Cause it, you know, it's ingenuine, but he did this beautiful thing where he says, there's this line. It's like, some people have dads to base themselves on and either try to be or try not to be. And he did this thing where he gestured to me to say, and try not to be. And I feel like that's a great example of, well, no, like I was put in this box to be like Harry Potter, but I'm not saying I don't want to not be like Harry Potter. It's just like, don't force me to be like you. Like, let me grow on my own. Like there are many things that I do admire about my dad, but like, about Harry but like let me get there. Don't force it. Like I would love to be like my dad. I'm not though, and I need to learn that I'm not and see where my Albus but where can I also be Harry? But where can I also be Ginny? Like, you know, all these things, and where can I be Scorpius? You're made from the people that you surround yourself with, and like I think that is a realization that Albus does have at the end, and that I think people often realize themselves. I hope they realize it's like, well, yeah, you are put in a box, and like you can be in that box, but you also need to know that box is labeled your name. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
which doesn't mean anything until you make it mean something.
Exactly.
We're going to take a quick break for a few commercials. All right, everyone, welcome back to the episode. As somebody now, of course, I am a son to my father, and then I have two sons of my own, and it's really interesting what you said is, how did you just put it? That you don't want to, like, for me personally, I wanted to not be like my dad until I realized I needed to be.
Yeah.
Because there's some really good parts about him. There's some parts I don't like.
Because,
and there's parts about me and my kids don't like.
But like, think about it. Like you like I said earlier, it's like this, we're people, and like there are instruction manuals for a reason. And when you know what I mean?
Why are there books?
Yeah, exactly. But like you have a guide like that, you know, and of course there are points of that guide that like maybe you might not agree with or you might not want to use, but like that's your basis for things. And like, and I feel like we inherently take attributes because we learned those things. And like, if you're going to use, I'm not telling you how to be a dad because I have no idea, but like, I don't know, maybe that's where it comes from, and being like, well, I didn't want to be like my dad, but like I found myself having to be, because there are things that just automatically bleed together in our minds.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's like on purpose. I just think it's like inherently so, where it's like Albus is like Harry. not because Albus is trying to be like Harry. It's just, of course, you're going to see some. That's who raised me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's something to be like ashamed of or like fearful of. I mean, as long as you know that you can be your own person, and that doesn't.
Well, you're always going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nature versus nurture. It's never 50-50. It's probably 90-10.
Yeah.
Right. Of 10% nurture, 90% nature. You are who you are with a little bit of shading.
Yeah. Totally.
So yeah, I get that. Okay. So then, just fun question: if you were going to take one spell from the Harry Potter world and use it in real life, what would you like to have?
That's a good question. Oh my gosh. I mean, if you asked me when I was 14 years old, I'd say Incendio, because, you know, like Albus, you know, who doesn't love fire? That's, but I think like Alohomora is a good one to have, because like I'm always nervous about losing my keys. So like, it's like not to break in anywhere. That's not what but like,
Alohomora bank vaults.
Yeah. But like, you know, just getting home to my apartment, Alohomora, like instead of like having to go in my bag. And
I can't believe I've never asked anyone before. It just occurred to me to ask, when you're doing the spells, are you taught choreography?
Yeah, totally.
You have to be very specific in the spells.
So like Alohomora, I do Alohomora, and it's this circle and a pull back. So if like you're using your
okay. It's like a pinball machine.
Wait a minute, is that? Wait, no, that's Expelliarmus. Expelliarmus.
That's why you're doing your spells wrong, dude.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Albus is not great at magic. And Gorgio is just a quick flick and pull back, like with some resistance, depending on what you are
Sure.
engorging.
Other people have said Accio.
Oh my gosh!
Because they don't want to. They don't want to get up and get the remote.
Accio. I mean, that's
Accio
like using the Force. It's like but that's a good one. Because it's really you could also do it to anything.
Sure.
If it's not even in this room, it might fly through the window.
Accio keys.
Yep, exactly.
There you go.
Maybe that's a better option to do a loophole there.
There you go. You can use that one.
I also think it's not a spell, but Polyjuice.
That would be fun.
It would be fun.
I have always fantasized about experiencing life actually as somebody else, just for a little bit of time.
Yeah, of course. Who doesn't like that? You know, you can actually live in someone else's shoes. Oh, we had a conversation backstage, me and Eric, and we were like, I think I I got like a scrape on my face or something like that. We were like, if we were to Polyjuice, would the person that I Polyjuice in still have that scratch, or would they not? Or, you know, and when I come back, when the Polyjuice wears off, do I still have the scratch?
Ooh.
You know, is it restorative? Is it changing your entire genetic makeup?
If you have a scar as Alex,
Mm-hmm.
and then you become somebody else and change back to Alex, do you still have your scar?
Well, I mean, I feel like, you know, Harry's scar goes away when he polyjuices.
Fair.
So,
And then he comes back and that's him. That's the original him.
Yeah.
What if you get a scar?
It must be based off of the genetic makeup at the time that you get the DNA sample.
But what if you get a scar while getting cut while you are
exactly
polyjuicing?
That I think was our bigger question.
Is that a verb now? Polyjuicing?
Polyjuicing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you come
I say
back.
the word polyjuicing in the show, so it's real.
Okay. Yeah.
It's real.
So it's a verb. I'm
gonna go polyjuice, bro.
Yeah, I'm
gonna do my polyjuice before I lift.
Polyjuicing.
You even polyjuice?
You even polyjuice, bro?
Yeah, right. Okay.
Right.
In a world where we all polyjuice.
polyjuice.
All right. So you know this is coming. It's time for plot in 60 seconds.
Okay.
We've got 60 seconds in front of you. I have a list of 16 musicals, popular musicals. We recorded another episode with somebody else while you were here. So you've heard number 4. You can't say
I won't
4.
pick 4.
Can't pick 4. So 1 through 16 other than 4. What you got?
Number 12.
Number 12. Give me the plot in 60 seconds to Cats. Go.
60 seconds remaining.
There's a bunch of cats, and they have fun dancing. I've never seen cats.
You're doing great. Doing great so far.
They like to dance and live their lives like cats, and
45 seconds
they
remaining.
sing of memories and
Jellicle,
Jellicle Ball. They do dance and do cat things.
And they have eyes.
Yeah, and
30 seconds
they have
remaining.
eyes.
Green eyes.
They have green eyes. Cats have green eyes. And oh my gosh, there's still
What's the
20.
point? What's the point?
I don't know what the point of it all.
Nobody does. That's the point.
15 seconds
yes,
The point is
please.
nobody knows what the point of cats is.
Okay, I'm mad I picked number 12.
That was great.
Oh gosh.
That's a joke about cats. Is nobody knows what
Nobody
the
knows
actual
what
point of cats is.
other than
It's
that they're
fine.
cats and they dance and sing.
So a friend of
And-
mine has, Mike Abrams hosts the Wrong Cat Died podcast. And his whole podcast is about his theory that Grisabella was the wrong cat to die. So he is making a case for every single other cat is more worthy
of dying.
to be reborn and go to the Heaviside Layer. Or go to the Heaviside Layer and be reborn. Because cats have 9 lives.
You're saying things and I'm like, ooh, whoa, I need to watch Cats because I have no idea what you're
But
talking
it's
about.
basically American Idol meets X Factor meets Broadway theater. So they're having competitions. Every song is their own cat making their case
to go
to be to
in
go
the
to the
after-
Heaviside Layer and be reborn into a new life. Based on a bunch of really creepy, weird T.S. Eliot poems when Andrew Lloyd Webber was probably high and wrote this shit.
Probably.
Okay.
I need to start investing some more time into Cats, the musical. Yeah. Do they actually meow?
No, they don't actually meow. But
okay.
But they should.
Well, they're cats.
Well, they do the you know,
They
like that's
they
part of the
scratch their
audition
nose?
is crawling around like a cat.
Oh.
And the actual green eyes when they come out, they don't do this anymore since COVID. But they used to come out when the house was dark, wearing these glow in the dark green eyes, and like come out and jump scare.
Oh,
people
that's
in the aisle.
kind of awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think I could act. I can act like a chimpanzee really well, but I can't act like a cat. I know that's so random for me to say. I feel like we should have been talking about. That's what we should have been talking about.
That's the pull quote. I could act like a chimpanzee. Why are there books?
Why are there books? I can act like a chimpanzee.
So let's see it.
There we go. Oh, I can't say. I can't.
That's pretty good.
I've made like stilts. Like I want to be in Planet of the Apes so bad. I watch those behind the scenes videos, and I'm like, how do they do?
Start working on your abs. You're Mark Wahlberg co-stars.
They call me. Matthew and I have in the start of the show, we were like abs for Albus. We're starting this. Get my core workouts in every show. So I'm working there. Abs for Albus.
Abs for Albus. Hashtag abs for Albus.
You know, there's a pre-workout sponsor right there. Abs for Albus.
All right. 3 standard closing questions. First one simply is just what motivates you?
My family or, community in general, but also learning, like the idea of learning and change within that. All of that.
And parking the car and having the
Yeah, parking the car.
Did you have an accent you had to get rid of?
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah?
So I tell people all the time, there are 4 times when my accent comes out. When I am drinking, when I am mad, when I yell, or when I'm playing Uno, which is usually all 3 of those things.
Uno reverse!
Yeah, get a fucking +4, like that.
You can't stack that!
Yeah, exactly. That's it, and that's when it happens. My mom has a video of me playing when I was like young, and I was so enraged and just had the worst accent at the time.
Oh, that's funny.
And it's like I don't have it as bad. My dad has it bad, and my brother every time I'm the younger brother and he's the older brother, so I'll still mock him to this day. And sometimes he'll just say something. He'll be like, "Hey, did you get that? Can you give me a bag of Lay's?" And I'll be like, "Can you get me a bag of Lay's?" And it'd make him sound like the biggest Boston douchebag. And he'll be like, "I don't sound like that." And I'll be like, "I don't sound like that." Yeah. But yes, I do have one slightly. It actually helps with the English accent that I have to do every night because the Boston accent is the closest U.S. accent to theirs because it's non-rhotic, which means no R's. Because we say there's no R. So the word R, Bostonians say ah. English people say ah. R. See the
Where does
R.
Australia fit in? Because Australia
Oh.
was originally a British penal colony.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know. I've
'Cause
never learned the
they
Australian.
switch it. Because I went to Australia. They instead of law and order, they say law and order. They switched.
Oh, interesting. I don't know. It must have to do with some because the penal colonies there, like it was the English, Irish, but also the natives, and must have been a huge conglomeration of all of that's something interesting to think about. Is all those
Study that.
I will.
Report back. All right. Oh, okay. So now back to the questions. All right. What advice would you give to your younger self and younger people listening now, starting out down a similar path?
Be your true self. Like be you, and don't be afraid to be you. Just know that you changes all the time, but the things that change, don't look down upon them, because you wouldn't be who you are without the good and the bad. And use that in your everyday life to get through. And as an actor, going into the room and being yourself is the best thing you can do, because it's all about, can I work with this person? Because you can read the lines and you can do the show, but you can perform the part, but can be you and enjoy the people that you do it with. That goes beyond so much more. So
Splendid. All right. Now, this is coming. If you can only see one show for the rest of your life, but you can see it as many times as you want, what show would you see?
Any show, or does that be currently running?
Any show. You interpret as you will.
Can I give you a play and a musical? Can I give you two?
Sure.
My musical would be Hadestown. I love that show. I think it's gorgeous. I think it's got it locked down on what it is and what it's going to be, and it's just so beautiful. And I feel like they're a show that knows how to the performance changes based on the people that are in it, and I think that's gorgeous. That it's just so human. We're dealing with gods and stuff, but other than that, the play I would most likely love to see is probably Uncle Vanya by Anton Chekhov. I would love to see it, because every version that you see of that play is so different, and sometimes it's so boring, but sometimes it's really nailed down. Like if you compare the one Steve Carell's Vanya that was here, and then we have Andrew Scott's Vanya that's playing right now, and those two productions are so different from one another. But does it have to be the same show, or is it just the title? That's the question. Is it same performers all the time?
No. I'll give you a pass on that one.
Okay, those are my two. I would say.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah,
I like Uncle Vanya. I saw the Steve Carell version.
Yeah.
It was. Seeing him perform live
a
dramatic role is
so
great.
jealous. I didn't get to see it. I was in school.
In school in Boston. All right, where can we connect with you on the social media?
You can find me on Instagram at Alex F Serino. TikTok, I think it's alex.f.serino. And you can watch me play video games on Twitch at Hypeape.
You're a gamer?
HYPAPE. Yeah, I'm a big gamer.
Dude, have you played Hogwarts Legacy?
I have started it 3 separate times while doing the show, and I come home and I'm I need to be away from work when I'm at home. But
fair.
But also
Fair.
I've been really wanting to stream, because lots of the Cursed Child, the fans of the show that I posted on my Instagram. I was like, if I were to stream Hogwarts Legacy, do a playthrough of this, would this be something you're interested in? And lots of people were like, yeah, this would be awesome to watch.
I would go back and play it with you.
Yeah,
I love that game.
It's gorgeous. It's so beautiful. Probably gotten 4 hours in, which is not a lot for Hogwarts Legacy at all, but 4 hours in max. And I've always been like, oh, this is so gorgeous and so cool. The PvP is, not PvP, the PvE is so good. And all of the storytelling elements, it's perfect. And it encompasses you in the wizarding world, and
the open world element is so good.
Yeah.
And they're working on a second one. They say they're gonna add Quidditch to the second one. We shall see.
We'll see.
I've been following this. If you're into the game, look for animation bloopers on YouTube.
Oh yeah. No, I've seen them all over TikTok. It's so funny.
So funny.
It's so funny. That's some of my favorite parts of games is when they are, a little buggy and it's and it happens, but that's like it's like the theater of it all, you know.
Right.
Watch my Twitch. We have some fun over there.
I'm totally gonna follow you now. Yeah, I didn't realize that.
I obviously don't have a lot of time to stream as much as I could because I'm on a show 8 times a week, but I do when I can.
You do it like in between shows on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
I have just recently discovered that my computer runs I have a gaming laptop, but I also have a gaming PC at home. But my gaming laptop that I've had for a few years runs so smoothly in my dressing room to the point of like I have been playing at intermission video games, and it's like, and Eric is like always like he's like said to our dresser Jason, he goes we've lost him, we've lost him because this discovery has been made. But maybe one day I will stream during a 2-show day. I've thought about it. Have
you ever played Phoenix Rising?
Phoenix Rising, no.
Yeah.
Good one.
I don't have a PC.
PlayStation,
PS5.
Me too.
So that's why I got the PS5 for Hogwarts Legacy specifically. And then I was looking for something similar to it, and it's an older game, but it's got 3 DLCs now.
Oh, cool!
And it's Greek mythology, tongue-in-cheek story. Like Zeus is this asshole, as it often is,
like a god of war.
Yeah. And it's just and so Prometheus is telling the story of this Phoenix character Fenyx, and so it's I won't tell you anymore. I've probably got 50 hours in that game, 50, 60 hours.
How old are your kids?
8 and 10.
8 and 10. Do they play video games?
Yes.
There's this new game that just came out that I've started playing with my best friend. It's called Split Fiction. You heard of this? So it's a co-op game. Have you heard of the video game It Takes Two?
Yes.
It's the same creators of It Takes Two, and it's this co-op split-screen game where you play as two...
It just came out
last month. Came out, yeah.
Wow.
And it's about these two fiction writers who... One is a sci-fi writer, one is a fantasy writer, and they get into this simulation of their like minds, like their story ideas, and their stories start to bleed together, and you play to try to get out of that. And it's
cool.
It's super cool. It's a great story of friendship. If you could play with your kids, it's a really good story. Loving the game. It's also another gorgeous one, and just fun. The mini games are there's so many mini games where you play as two pigs. One of them can fart rainbows, and one of them can like make their body into a spring.
You've already won my kids over.
There you go. It's so good. But also, other than that, I play lots of like online, like MMO, like I play Marvel Rivals and Fortnite. You know, I'll do the competitive games once in a while.
Yeah, my 10-year-old is heavy into Rocket League right now.
Oh yeah, classic.
Yeah, classic. He's never got into Fortnite, but they love those games. They Ultimate Chicken, is that
Ultimate Chicken?
Is that what it is?
No, this is
Ultimate.
This sounds like a new game.
Chicken
me.
Horse, Ultimate Chicken Horse.
Can I see?
Yeah, Ultimate Chicken Horse. And it's a co-op game where you're trying to get to the end by every round. You do different obstacles to either help yourself or hurt the other person. And it's
interesting.
We will say not beautiful. It's very cartoony graphics.
It knows what it is.
It knows what it is, and it's a cheap download. We got it for Switch.
Oh, cool! Switch 2's coming out soon.
Yeah.
Careful of that with your kids.
The Mario Kart,
the new Mario Kart
with
world,
an open world Mario Kart,
so good,
dude.
But they're changing the world. They're $80 for a video game now.
Yeah, there's a lot of pushback. A lot of pushback on that.
Yeah,
$80-$90 for a Switch game is people are like,
with a $450 console.
Yeah,
too.
you know. I'm gonna wait on that one. I'm gonna go get Split Fiction.
Get Split Fiction.
I gotta get Split Fiction now because I just beat all of the DLC on Phoenix Rising.
I'm gonna look into Phoenix Rising.
I started playing it again at a harder level because I needed something to fill that void.
Yep.
But now I think Split Fiction's my shit. Well, listener, if you're still here, thanks. Theater lover, if you're still here listening to video games, thank you so much. Let's see, you can find me on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Facebook. Leave a rating and review wherever you're listening. The video version of this is on Spotify and on Patreon. The music is coming from Jukebox the Ghost. Thank you. And this convo, Alex Serino, holy shit, man. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for chatting. I got to talk about things I loved, and I hope you got to talk about things you love too. So
absolutely.
Had a lot of fun.
Take a deep breath, make the world a little colorful.